So I thought I would give you a little insight from my personal experience how to handle bank fraud on a Portuguese bank account, because it does work a little bit differently to the way it works in other countries. So last year I had fraud on my UK bank account, and all that you do when you detect the fraud is you phone the fraud department at the bank, they stop the card, and you go through all the transactions that were fraudulent, and they refund you the money. So in Portugal, it doesn't work quite that same way. There's a few more steps that you've got to go through. So that's why I thought I would tell you a little bit about that today. So what happened to me is that I received a phishing SMS. And by phishing, I don't mean like catching salmon kind of fish. I mean the PH phishing. And so I received a text message saying that from the post office, CTT, and it came through on the same number that the post office, CTT, always use when they are informing me that they are delivering a parcel. So I didn't think anything strange about this CTT SMS message. And it said to me that this the parcel had been sent to me, but it was held up in customs, and I must click on the CTT link to just confirm my address and payment details, because I've got to pay customs duty on this parcel. So I had been contacted by a company a little while ago, and they wanted to send me something, and then they had actually sent me an email the day before I got the text message to tell me that the item that they had sent me had been held up in customs. So when I got this SMS from CTT, I automatically assumed that was the same parcel that was held up in customs. So I'm now actually thinking that that company that was supposedly sending me this item was not a real company either, and that they were in on this whole scam. And so apparently about 3 weeks ago, I think they said, it was on Portuguese news about the CTT scam, warning people about it. But because I don't have a television and I don't watch Portuguese news, I wasn't familiar with that scam. Anyway, I clicked on, and it looked like I was going to the CTT website. It looked just like the CTT website. I had to put in my address, and then I had to put in my card details, including the CVC code, so that I could pay the €1.83 customs fee. That's what I thought. Well, almost instantly, money started going out of the account, and I don't get sent an alert when money goes out of that account. But what I did notice was that there were some, and I don't check the bank balance every day either, so you don't know. And it was actually when I was in Saudi Arabia, I started getting these approver messages, alerts that I must approve amounts, and I didn't approve them because I didn't recognize them, and some of them were quite large amounts, and I didn't recognize them at all, so I didn't approve any of them. There were about 30 of them. Anyway, when I got back from Saudi Arabia, I then looked at the bank balance in my statement, and I saw that there was quite a large amount of money out of the account, and there were lots of transactions that I didn't recognize, all for some game, online game stores, EA Sports, etc., etc. And there were a couple of bigger amounts as well. And those ones the bank had let those through without going through the approval system. So that was a bit of a problem. So anyway, I then went to my bank, because I thought I'm not going to try and phone the fraud department, because just now there's someone, my Portuguese isn't so good to explain what has happened. And so I then went to the bank, and they said to me that I've got to go to the police, and I've got to file a claim, a case. I've got to open a case, and I will only get refunded if the criminal is caught and they manage to get the money back from the criminal. I said, but banks have insurance. Surely it doesn't work like that. And they insisted, no. And the example that they gave me was, if someone steals your car, you're not going to get your car back unless they catch the criminal and recover the car. And I thought, this doesn't sound right. So I then went to the main branch in this area in Castelo Branco, because that branch was the Fundão branch. I went to the main one in Castelo Branco, and there I was told, Sam, you've got to go to the police. You can't go to GNR. You have to go to the policia, and you've got to file a police report, and there's no guarantee you'll get the money back. And I thought, no, this doesn't sound right. Anyway, I then went to the police, and luckily they had someone there, a very nice young man who spoke really good English, and he said to me, you have two options. Option one is you open a case that's going to be investigated, and it'll go through the courts once we catch the criminal, and only then do you get paid. You refund your money back. And that can take many months, even years. Or option two is you just file a police report. We give that back to you, and you take that to the bank. And I left out a step. When you go to the bank, you have to get a bank statement, and you've got to mark on the bank statement all the transactions that weren't yours, and the bank has to then stamp that and sign it and date it, and you've got to give that to the police. Anyway, so they then include all those transactions. There were 28 transactions altogether that the bank let through without going through the approval system. And so I then got the police report from the police, and then I had to go back to the bank. So you go back to the bank with the police report. And that police officer kept on saying to me, are you sure you want to go for option two? If you change your mind and you decide you want to go to court, you've got 6 months after filing that police report to get them to open a case to investigate it. And I mean, to be honest, I just want my money back. It's obviously somebody young playing games. EA Sport, I reckon, is probably FIFA that they're playing, and they're buying upgrades to their teams or something. Anyway, so I went back to the bank, and then the bank manager actually came out to speak to me, and he was very, very helpful. And he said to me, he said, right, we've got the police report. What happens now with the state, all those transactions that weren't yours, we send that off now to like the head office and the insurers, and then they will then decide if they can get the money back from those different online shops where they used your bank card details. In the meantime, though, my bank card was cancelled, and I'm now waiting for the new card to arrive. So, yeah, so that was the Wednesday. And then by the Friday afternoon, all the money had been put back in my account. So basically in 2 days, I was refunded the money. But you need to know that those are the steps you have to go through. You've got to go to the bank. You've got to get them to print off a statement. They've got to stamp it and sign it. You've got to then work out which transactions are not yours. You have to then go to a police station. In our area, there's just the police. There's a police station in Kavia, and there's a police station in Castelo Branco. There isn't actually one in Fundao. It's GNR, but you can't go to GNR. You have to go to the policia. You then choose either option 1, which is to go through court, or option 2, which is just to get the police report, which however fast you want to get your money, I suppose. And then you take that police report back to the bank, and then that's how you can get your refund. Don't let the bank just tell you you don't get a refund, you have to wait to catch the criminal, because according to the police, that's option 1, and you don't have to choose option 1. You can choose option 2. So hopefully this will help you a little bit if this happens to you. The bank manager did say that these kinds of scams seem to be on the rise in Portugal. So if you have a Portuguese bank card, there's a good chance this could eventually happen to you. And I thought I'd just share with you my experience and the process of getting your money back. So have a good one. See you on the next video.